I need to mount that motor to that pan. The last video showed a really complex way for me to do it. I'm not going to do it that way. As I was cleaning the garage to move the body out in an undisclosed place, no, it's actually right next door in the tent, I realized putting the motor where I need it actually makes life easier. I'm not going to have a big IRS system, no, don't need it. I'm going to use the existing suspension, run the CV axles, that's where it goes. Let's do this. Yeah, why not? Know your enemy. I mean, figure this out. There's a motor mount here, here, and on the other side. The motor mounts reach to the rubber, boom. I think my goal is to build a bracket from here to here, same on the other side, and then get rid of this bracket and use the horns from the transmission mount to there. So I'll use the transmission mount, right? I'll put the transmission mount there, it'll have the little rubber mount, and then I build a bracket that fits these 4 bolts that plugs into the transmission. This CV axle lines up with this, just like a transmission from a Beetle. I think that's step number 1. Big old 18s. I might need a breaker bar on this guy. It's a windy day. Don't want to lose my gasket. Tisket tasket, there's a gasket. So I guess I gotta figure out where the middle is. So technically speaking, from here over, this little area is the electric motor. This is the gearbox. This is a motor mount. This thing over here is a motor mount that you can't see. So the motor is only, gosh, 12 inches? This is a bracket. It's like 12 by 14 by 16 or 17. But I want to keep the gearbox because it's got the cool, you know, ability to do this. So, doesn't really matter where I put this way to this way, but if I make it in the middle, both CV axles will be roughly in the middle. So let's do this. And then make sure it's completely straight, because if it's cockeyed, these are going to be very short. Okay, so see how far out that guy goes? This is way too much. But I gotta get the motor out first. And a quick little stand. I don't have the car in my way. CAD for the mount. So here we are. This electric motor has got to get mounted to this pan by the weekend end. I haven't been able to work on this car in a long time. I'm getting back at it. This is getting ridiculous. I got to get this done by August. So, the key is the axle's here. The wheel's normally there. So I need to make this go back. And then if you know anything about panel bugs, if you know anything about beetles, the axle's really close to this horn. So I need that axle to be really close to that horn. And as you can see, it's a good 5 inches up and back. That's because the swoop up here goes uphill. So the plan today and tomorrow if I need to is to cut the top half of the horn off. Stay with me now. Cut the top half of the horn off, leaving the bottom half of the horn so that the electric motor can drop down and go back. Then, with some really big freaking bars, I've got all sorts of round tube over here and some square tube just in case. I'm going to reinforce the underside of the horn to make it back to its strength. And I'll probably build some little outriggers because I need an outrigger for this guy to hold up this end motor mount. Same on this side. I want to use the originals. And then I'm going to take the original guy, which I'll probably also add some support to because I don't think it's meant to hold this much weight up, along with the original supports for the transmission. And that's what this plate's going to go on that I just showed you. So that this guy lines up with the horn, because I've already lined it up. It does line up. This guy is right behind this. So if I put this guy on, bam, whichever way it goes, that's where we're going. Let's do this. What I don't know is how low I can go, but I want them as close as possible. Okay. After all these years, 67. Nice. Okay. Off to a good start. Definitely gonna need some reinforcement. Like the day it was made. Okay. This is the old fuel line. I probably won't need that again. Can't run a wire through it anyway. Ooh. It's not bumping into anything so far. Oh, look at that! Oh, that is beautiful. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Too much glare. this guy, this guy. There. Okay. Let's see what I can do next. So we're straight on now. Doesn't look right on the camera, but we're definitely straight on. Now to lower it. Now the trick to lowering is my block tower needs to have some blocks removed. It's heavy. This thing's heavy. Okay. Okay. I am not upper strength strong like Danny and this old jalopy is, but I also don't want to strain myself and not be able to work the rest of the weekend. So I think I'm just taking it too gently. Oh yeah, starting to get somewhere now. This side has a need for a notch. See, we're almost there. Heck, honestly, on this side, I'd say we are there. So what is stopping me over here? Come here, I'll show you. I can get to the focus. Right there. That piece, because this is the electric motor side, and this is technically transmission or gearbox. That doesn't have the gearbox, or the gearbox doesn't have that. But that guy does. Right in there. And then this will come down to lower. Because if you notice, this is darn close. This is darn close right here. Okay. I know, it looks like a butcher, but remember, reinforced with other steel bars once it's all back in place. And I'll have to make an outrigger to hold up this part. This is just spacing. This will be outriggered to hold it up. So, bear with me. Nice. So to be clear, the blocks are not holding up that motor right now. The horns are. Not that I'm going to go down the road like, but. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Ta-da! Lunch break! This is the back of the K-member that holds the electric motor in the LEAF. These are the mounting holes for the, I guess they would be the front? Yeah, the front of the motor. And they already line up, so this is a good template. But they also have threaded holes. I have the other side of the K-member that comes out here that holds the piece over there, because this is split. It's held between 2 points on the K-member. So theoretically, I could take this piece off and take this piece off and make them the mounting points for that. So cut, flatten, cut it here so it fits on there, and then that would be the start of the front mounts. Let's get to work. Now originally I was going to make the secondary brackets next, but I thought I need to do this and then attach the secondary bracket to the arm that goes out, because there's going to be an arm from here to here to give it some extra support, because I cut a lot of metal out from underneath there. Still got to run the rib around on the bottom, but okay, so here's what the plan is. This is my cardboard, my CAD. Got a little beat up over the last couple of days, but who dat? Oh, just sent Alex a picture of this from Graph's Garage, and he says it's looking good so far. Thanks, Alex. Okay. the general idea is to take these guys and use them as the back motor mount. So I've got a bucket of bolts over there. I'll find the bolts for these. And then I'm going to make a metal plate with a lip. So I think what I'll do is I'll make this lip first, and I got an idea for that. I'm going to make it out of this guy. So I'm going to make this and this. I'll cut it, angle it so it's a nice cup, kind of like what the transmission of the Beetle would be. And then this part will be here, and then that. This isn't back far enough for that. So there'll have to be a support. I think what I can do is put some square tube. Yeah. Yes, that'll work. I've got some rectangular tube over here. I'll put that behind it before I build this plate. So let me build this and then the plate, and then we'll attach them. Here's what I got. Yes. Kind of ugly, but it hasn't been welded or painted or anything like that. But it does do the trick. And nothing is tight yet. I'm using the wrong nut and bolt here. I don't have the short ones on me right now. And this big old bucket somewhere of everything metric that came off both cars. I made a cardboard cutout before of what it would roughly look like, so I know the pattern. I'll cut this chunk off and then use the pattern to put the holes in it, like so. Big freaking holes. And then use this as support. That's what I'm talking about. That is a basic setup. That's the cradle. Back plate fits. These bolts are made for the thick body of this. So I'll find some shorter bolts or cut these and make them shorter. I'm going to make this a little bit shorter to clear these. And then I need to attach this to this. These two need to be attached. This guy is very shaky. Bad juju. Okay. I think I'm going to cut this and then get a piece of square tube or rectangle tube and see if it fits there. What if I made spacers like this? Made like 4 of them across. Do one there, and then one do 2 more. Day 2. Put in a good solid day yesterday, probably 6 or 7 hours. I know that's not a full day, but I got a lot done and I was beat at the end of the day because there was a lot of just cutting and thinking and cutting and thinking, a lot of thinking going on. And I still thought about it last night on how I'm going to work on today. So, you know, I had in another hour of thinking. But here we are. So behind the scenes just now, before I turned on the camera, I cut off and added the secondary mount to the front motor mounts. I removed this guy and ground all my welds down because I can weld, I just can't weld pretty. And they're definitely strong because I beat the snot out of it with a hammer and it didn't break any of the welds. So now's the time to find out, right? And now that I know what it's shaped like, I'm thinking of redoing the whole design in a CAD file, like a send file, but I have access to a plasma cutter, so I can send it to me and cut for me, I guess you could say. So the next step is the outrigger arm that's going to hold this guy up from here to here, and similar guy from here to here. And then I've got some thinner metal. I think it's 14 gauge. It's thicker than the body panel metal that I'm going to try to cover up all these holes for before. So step number 1, remove the motor. Step number 2, start building the outriggers. And hopefully that means step number 3 will be put it all back together and see if it'll support the weight without my block. Here we go. White. Yeah, I forgot to film that. Oops. Started welding the brace in. Yeah. Yeah, so, okay. Got to turn on the camera. Now I just got to give this little guy, I'll put the motor back on and give this little guy a proper positioning, which I think is right about there-ish. And then I'll figure out how to mount this puppy. I may have to cut it, whatever. Okay, let's leave the camera on for the other side. How about that? Maybe you guys want to see what's going on? Of course, I've still got to weld all the bottom on. I'm just getting these mounted in place. And I'm still going to run half a pipe underneath both of these. Give them some extra oomph. I mean, technically this is on some dollies, but they're metal dollies for cars, so they can handle some weight. Should I test? I mean, there's no other way to test this unless I just do it. Guess I should probably test. So the trick will be move it into place, remove the wood after I bolt it in place. Hey, there we go. Nice, okay. Okay, there's a bolt over here that sticks out and runs into my outrigger. Darn it. I'll cut a notch and then put a little metal bowl in it so it doesn't. So I gotta do the little arm from here. What I gotta do on this one, I'm going to cut. I think what I'll do is I'll cut this bottom off, this bottom hinge right here off, and then straighten it, bend it straight down, so that it's one, so it's thinner like that one. Yes, I think I will. Still gotta cover these up. Still gotta do the bottom of these guys. But let's put it all together and see what I've done today. Because the goal was to put these on. May not be pretty, but they're on. Let's just try it. Oh no, it's stuck again. Generator. Bingo bongo. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, should be able to move the wood block and install. Yep. This guy. Well, that's right. 15 and 15 to the center of the axle. There you have it. Outrigger arm, still need to build a support. Need a spacer for there. And another outrigger arm, and the supports are all in. I mean, it's sustaining itself. It's holding itself up. I got some tweaks to do with this bracket, but it's all built. Now for my next trick, I've got to take all this stuff off the car, flip it up on its side, and do the bottom. I think I might also run a support beam on the on the pans that I put in last summer, because the batteries need to sit behind the seat, and that will definitely need the under. So I think that's my next step. I'm also going to work on making these hubs, the drive wheel hub, fit there. I've already started working on that. So all I got to do, ta-da, that's where the speed sensor is, or RPM sensor. Lots to do. Stay tuned. We're really chugging along now. I think I might focus on this part next, and then when those are in place I can determine axle, and then I'll do the underside whenever I get a chance to flip the car over. It's not hard to flip a car over, not the pan, but you know, a lot of stuff has to be done both directions, so Since I'm already here, I'll make the adapters. Stay tuned next time. Okay, so there we have it. I was able to get it done, and if you fast forward to this part and didn't watch all the stuff in between, okay, whatever. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share with friends. There's a lot more to go. Wait until I get it rolling. Should be soon at this rate. Hoping to roll by the end of May. See you soon. Stay tuned and get out in the garage and do something. I've been busy. You should too.